Hi, welcome to my channel, Talk Yakutaro. Today is August 12th, Tuesday, 2025. So before I get started, I want to remind anyone that is watching that these messages are not going to resonate with everyone, and that's okay. If they resonate with you and gives you clarity, great. If it does not, then don't force it to be your story. I feel like I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm like, never mind. It's not really, it's my ears. My ears, they feel like they're like underwater or something. Anyways, it is hot outside. It's beautiful out. And it's, you can hear, I don't know, maybe you might not be able to hear them, but you can hear the heat bugs, the cicadas. They're just buzzing away. So I didn't hear them last year. I think they were hibernating last year. I think cicadas, they're like on a, they'll come out every couple years or so. Let me see something. Now I'm curious about this. There's something about that, not the cicadas, but like the hibernating for a certain amount of years and then coming back up. Okay, so let me see something. Also, go buy my book. It's on Amazon. It's $15 for hardcover and $14 for softcover. It's a romantic fantasy for mature audiences. It was a little project that I did for fun. I own it. Okay, as in I have the copyrights to it because it's my book. I wrote it. So it's just like a little fun adventure to read, and I'm kind of proud of it. I am proud of it. I'm very proud of it, actually. Okay, because there's so much potential in it, right? So yeah, you hear that? The cicadas. Hold on. Cicada. Okay, yeah, that's what I want to look up. The hibernation. So only a portion of their time is spent above ground as adults. So it's not like they hibernate, okay. They spend most of their lives, okay, yeah, you see, so that's why I feel like that's the misunderstanding, where they hibernate. But they don't hibernate. They actually spend most of their lives, 13 or 17 years. And I've been seeing 17, like the, I'm watching the show, right? And there was like something that was going on for like a 17-year period, okay? I've been getting a long period of time kind of energy, okay? But then I'm also reading here just now, it says 13 or 17 years. Okay, so that's why I was under the impression that they hibernate, but they're just underground for about 13 to... Imagine that! Being underground for 13 to 17 years, okay? So that's what they do. They live underground for about 13 to 17 years, and then they only come up, it says, they live their lives 13 or 17 years underground as nymphs, actively feeding on tree roots rather than hibernating, according to Smithsonian Magazine and Britannica. They are actively tunneling and feeding during this time. Only a small portion of their life is spent above ground as adults, during which they mate and reproduce. That is insanity. That is so cool, though. Periodical cicadas spend the vast majority of their lives, 13 or 17 years, as nymphs underground. Not hibernation. They are not dormant during this time. They are actively feeding on tree roots and tunneling. Molting. The nymphs undergo several molts as they grow. Emergence triggers. When soil temperature reaches about 64 degrees Fahrenheit at a depth of 12 to 18 inches. So, okay, they emerge, says the Nature Conservancy. So, interesting. Adult stage. Once above ground, they molt into adults. So, it's the temperature that triggers this. Once above ground, So I feel like there's something that tastes really delicious that I'm about to discover. Like an idea or something. So there's something about, okay, all right. Okay, I haven't, all right, I got it. All right, once above ground, they molt into adults' mates, and the females lay eggs in tree branches. Adult cicadas live only a few weeks. That's, can you think, like, so they live underground for years, right? And once the soil hits a certain temperature, it triggers them, okay, it's time to come up. And they're only up for a couple of weeks, and then they die. After the eggs hatch, the new nymphs fall to the ground and burrow, and beginning the cycle anew. That is so interesting. Soil temperature. So it's almost as if, like, once it's like fermented, once it's cooked enough, once it's like good to go, right? I'm also getting baby in the oven kind of energy, right? When you got a baby in the oven, like when you're in your womb, when you have a baby in the womb, when you're pregnant, right? It's got to be in there for a certain amount of time, and then once the baby is ready to come out, all of these hormonal things start triggering the labor process. Okay? So I feel like I'm getting hermit mode. So you could have been in isolation for a very long time, fermenting, perfecting, right? No such thing as perfection, but like walking into your most abundant self. Okay? This is very, very interesting. I want to delve deeper into this, but I think I should move on. It's so interesting because in the show that I was watching, right, I'm watching this one show. It's a C-drama, which is a Chinese drama. And in the show, blah, 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 whatever. But there were like these two beings, and they were essentially separated for like 17 years, which is so interesting. I have to move on from this. Let me see. Alright, anyways, so aside from that, let me move this though. Okay. Connections guide. This one hasn't, I don't think I've read this one actually. So you could be being guided to a connection or connections, right? But this is only possible now, like, for example, thank you! I got it. Back to the cicadas. Okay. Cicadas. They're nymphs, right? They're not cooked enough, right? They still have to, like, I don't know, mature and blah 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 and whatever, right? They have to like reach a certain age, a certain whatever, okay? And then once the soil gets a certain temperature, it like triggers the nymphs, right, to come up, and then they become adults, okay? Because now I'm also getting like a baby when you're pregnant as a woman, okay? As a biological woman, when you're pregnant, right? When you're an adult, right? When you are pregnant, and then nature does its thing. Okay, now it's time for you to deliver this baby, right? And nature does its thing, and the baby comes out, and then the baby goes up. Okay. it's kind of, I'm also getting like an encased shell. Like you cannot be in this shell forever, or you couldn't be in this cocoon forever. You couldn't. It was time for you to like emerge, essentially. Okay. So I feel like this is kind of, I'm gonna read the card in a second, but I'm very excited. But I feel like this is something like you could have been somewhat in a cocoon for a very, very long time, and now it's time for you to emerge. The cicadas, they're underground for years and years, 13 to 17 years, right? They're underground for a very, very long time. And once the soil does its thing, after it reaches a certain temperature, it's like triggering them. It's like, oh, okay, now it's time to essentially grow up. So they come out, and then they're adults, and then they mate, okay? So I feel like you had to be like in a cocoon. You had to ferment, you had to hibernate, you had to isolate that hermit energy, so you can like become spiritually mature, mentally mature, emotionally mature. I don't really think physically mature, because at this point you should already be an adult, okay? But whatever. But I feel like it's more like going like within that hermit energy, going within, okay, and maturing yourself and healing yourself and figure out certain things so you can emerge as a proper adult, okay? Ready for your purpose, essentially. This is very interesting. Connections guide. Harness the power of networks, cultivate meaningful relationships, and strategize your path to success. I like that. Okay? So I feel like because you've done what you had to do, you are able to do this in a more effective, professional, healthy way. Yeah. So now you can do this in a very healthy way. So the reason why I'm throwing the word healthy in there is because if you're not in a place where you can understand certain things, right? Like if you're in a place where you need, the best example I can give you, like if you were a child, I mean, we were all children, right? But let me rephrase that. If you had a childhood where you felt very neglected, okay, and you never got attention, and there was a big portion of that, so maybe between the ages of 4 and 10, you always felt neglected. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So that's 7 years of neglect, all right? So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So now it's kind of like you have to fill that gap of neglect, all right? You have to fill essentially 7 years of neglect from your childhood, and you're trying to find that in your adulthood, right? But it's difficult because as a child, you're constantly getting that from a reliable source. Your mother, your father, grandma, grandpa, guardian, caregiver, right? You're constantly getting that from a reliable source. But if you're not getting that from a reliable source, when you're a child, you're constantly seeking out all these things, all these people, right? To kind of fill up that attention, empty space that you never got. Does that, I'm trying to explain it the best way I can, the way it's in my mind, all right? But if only this person gives you like a day of attention, and this person, right, you're not getting a reliable source of attention. So you're making connections and networking, but it's all wrong. It's all wrong. It's not out of your highest good. It's out of it's to fill up the empty space of neglect from attention that you should have gotten as a child. Is that, I swear, listen, I'm trying to make sense of this the best way I can for you, okay? But I feel like that's just an example, okay? And I feel like for a lot of you, that's just an example, right? So when you get to a point where you no longer need to be doing that, you're just making connections, making friends, talking to anyone and everybody to essentially fill up that canister of attention that's empty because it was never filled as a child, okay? When you get to a point where it's filled, now you no longer have to make friends with anybody and everybody and make connections and do this and do that, right? It's filled. You're good. You figured that out. You solved that. You've healed that, essentially, right? Maybe, I'm pretty sure, you I don't know whether or not you did it that way, whatever it is, but you could have just, turned to God and got your attention from God, whatever it is, okay? But the reason why you were essentially you had to go in hermit mode is because you had to fill up those empty canisters within yourself. All right, so that way when it got to the point where it was time to meet the right people, you're not utilizing those people to fill up your canisters of love, neglect, attention, mothering, fathering, research, whatever. All right. So now, because you filled up those canisters within you, you can make these proper connections in a healthy way. You can recognize it for what it is. This connection is this. It's not a tool for me to utilize to fill myself up on the inside. Does that make sense? Because I'm pretty sure it does, to me at least. So now these connections are going to be what they are, not what you're trying to make them to be. Or I just seen, what is that, 5150? Yeah, 1551 I seen. I don't have my glasses, and I don't have my contacts in. You're not trying to use them for what you're not, right? So these connections that you're making, you can now utilize the potential and the power of that connection and see it for what it is, right? I feel like you guys did some major healing work. I mean, this is essentially profound, right? Harness the power of networks, cultivate meaningful relationships, and strategize your path to success. You can do this now. You can do this now because you're not. And the thing is too, like, being in the energy too, you are aware of who to network with, right? Versus you never got attention at all. So you're willing to talk to anybody, all right? That's just an example, all right? But you healed and blah, blah, blah. So now you're like, yeah, I don't need attention from that person. I shouldn't talk to that person. This connection is good. This is a genuine connection right here. This one is not. This one, I don't think so. This one's toxic. This one's karmic. This one's gonna lead me down the wrong path. So, right? You're not operating out of like a hurt place anymore. You're healed, much more mature, much more fermented. I don't know why. Right? You're more grounded. Right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? So that's good. This is good. This is good. On the bottom of the deck, we have Gentle Release. I told you, this is very good. Gentle Release. I don't think I've read this card either. And oh, look, she's in the water. I was just talking about how my ears feel like they're underwater, too. Right? When I first started the video, that's what it felt like. Like you ever go in the water and it's like not like that muffled sound, but like it was like the pressure in my ears. That's what I was feeling. All right, not an airplane, because I feel like the airplane pressure and the underwater pressure is different. It just feels different. Similar, same, but different. All right, because it was more water. But anyways, Gentle Release. Let yourself surrender to the flow of life's mysterious currents. I like that. Let yourself surrender to the flow of life's mysterious currents. So, by you being in this energy, it's allowing you to be in this energy, right? You kind of just going with the flow. And then it's like the wind is guiding you to this connection. And now you network here. And now it's like guiding you to... The wind is pushing you over here. You're just like, okay, wind, push me. You ever see those people where the wind is pushing really hard? Outside is blowing really hard. And people, like, you can see, like, the wind is, like, pushing them, right? Or people are trying to fight against the wind. But I feel like in this situation, you kind of just turned your back against the wind. Not as, like, not any, like, negative thing or whatever. It's just you turned your back and was like, okay, wind, push me where I need to go. I will just go ahead. And the wind's like, okay, and the wind is pushing you. You're just like, okay, wind, take me where I need to go. And the wind is like, okay, now I'm taking you to this connection. Now I'm taking you to this connection, because you're allowing it, right? You're not trying to, I want to go there because I want, right? You're not fighting against the wind, essentially. Okay, you're not fighting against the wind. Free to move. Look, on the bottom of the deck, free to move. Embrace your liberty to explore new paths. The world is wide open for your journey. Why is this possible? Because you're no longer looking or seeking to refill to fill your canisters of love, trust, mothering, fathering, attention, guidance, whatever that you lacked as a child, right? So you would spend a majority of your adulthood seeking that, fighting against the current, fighting against God, fighting against the wind, right? Because you're seeking these things to feel whole. You did something, you healed, it had to be that, because otherwise this wouldn't be possible right now. You would still be fighting, right? You would still be in a war with the Most High God, essentially. But you're not. Now, you're good to go. You've healed, right? So because you've healed, you're free to move, right? With the wind is going to push you wherever you need to go. And you can, not only that, but if you... I'm also getting, if you ask the wind to take you places, the wind will be like, okay, sure, not a problem, because you're weightless. I can carry you there because you're weightless, right? Whereas before, you were so burdened and heavy with these sadness and griefs and pains and resentments and traumas and blah, 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 right? All these things, you were heavy. But you're not anymore. You're weightless. So if you ask the wind to carry you somewhere, the wind is like, okay, sure, not a problem. Because you're weightless. I can do that. The wind is weightless. So, of course, if you want the wind to carry you, you too must match that. You have to be weightless, right? Be weightless. So you're weightless. So you're being carried and guided, and you're free to move into these connections and blah, 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 blah. And this is all a great and amazing thing for you. I love it. Congrats. This is good. This is real good. All right, let me get a couple tarot, and then I'll I'll switch the decks. I don't want to so see, this is going so well. This is going so well. But I feel like there's somebody in here that wants to like ruin that. They want to get in the way of that, of your happiness. You're very, very happy, very, very happy. You're free, you're weightless, you're happy, you're connecting, you're networking, right? You've matured, right? With that hermit energy, right? And the cicadas underground, blah, 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 right? You're now emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually aware, healed, matured, right? The reason why I'm throwing physically in there is because there could have been some parts in your body where you were holding on to trauma, or believe it or not, trauma sticks to certain parts of the body. It's a whole thing, right? But it's like, because you're not holding on to negativity, you're not as tense, you're not as lockjawed and, you know, BF face, and you're not so, your shoulders are not so, right? You're not as tense. You're relaxed more, okay? And that comes with, you know, the healing process, right? Of healing your heart and your spirit and your mind and blah, 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 right? So, but somebody, I feel like there's somebody, yes, Pumpkin. I feel like there's somebody in here that sees you in this happy, independent, free to move, free to talk to, free to network, free to communicate, free to connect energy. There's somebody in here that, who is it? It could be a Queen of Swords reverse energy. But I don't want, man. Okay, well, let's see what happens. And I feel like they're only doing this because they're just being very, very bitter. Free to move. Embrace your liberty to explore. You have authority to do whatever you want, right? And the reason why you do that is because you're not abusing your independence. You're not abusing your freedom of liberty. You're not, right? You're not doing illegal things. You're not hurting anybody. You're not hurting yourself. Okay? It's simple. So, right? But I'm getting the feeling that this is someone who You know what? I'm not. Let me see what comes out, because yeah, I'm getting it's. Oh man. All right, we'll see. We'll see. The Hierophant reverse. So I'm getting two things actually. One is you've done something very, very different outside of the box, essentially. Very outside of the box, very unorthodox, okay? And I think it was supposed to be that way. Because I'm also getting that there was someone that was tracking your moves. So you had to kind of like be creative with it and do something differently, right? So, and a big part of that was you having to go into that hermit mode energy. You had to isolate yourself, right? You cannot heal in the open, all right? Especially if it's in an environment that is toxic and detrimental to your health. So the best thing to do is to isolate, separate, take yourself away from that environment, that friendship, that job, that business, that mindset even, all right? Those friends, those family members, that career, whatever it is, you had to isolate yourself to heal. And you did that, okay? And you did it in a way where I'm getting it, like it's almost as if. So the reason why there's someone that's mad about this is because you weren't announcing anything. You weren't saying, okay, I'm getting off social media now because I'm gonna go heal today. I got some healing work to do. You weren't doing that. The hermit, where's the hermit? Where did the hermit go? The hermit is not gonna announce anything. The hermit is quiet. The hermit is not in a gathering, right? Clinking glasses, cheering, right? You could have been in this hermit energy, working on your health, healing, trying to figure out what's this, what's what, who's who, why is this, why am I feeling this, what happened here, right? What can I do? What can I heal? How can I heal? You were in that energy. It's so interesting too because hold on. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, you're doing something out of the box. So the second thing I'm getting is that whoever this person is, they're also in the Hierophant reverse, but the way they're utilizing that energy is very negative, or like they don't really know how to alchemize, I guess is the best way I can say it. Because whatever is going on with you, they're taking it very personal, and it's making them feel very vulnerable. Like your happiness is like making them feel naked in public. Like they don't, like they're running around naked in public, and that would make anyone feel vulnerable and embarrassed, right? And make anybody feel like they don't know what's going on, they don't know the way, they don't know who they are, they don't, right? And it's also kind of like now other people are looking at them like you have no home training, you have no manners, you have like who raised you, who because you just out here acting, you're an adult and you're out here running around the city naked. Like, where's your home training, right? It's making this person feel that way. Very embarrassed and vulnerable, right? Because who you are, right? This free to move, happy, the connection that you're making, people are seeing you as you, right? This happy energy, very independent, go-getter. You can do what you want to do, go where you want to go, you're free, essentially, right? And people are seeing that, right? And they like that. And because if they're seeing you that way and they're seeing this person, they're looking at this person like, whoever this person is that has an issue with your happiness, this person feels very vulnerable because they know people are looking at them like, so then what's your problem? What's your issue? Right? You must not be the one who, like, there's something very wrong with this individual. So, especially because if you have a problem with anyone's happiness, and that happiness, it's not ill-gotten means, It's not hurting anybody. It's not illegal, right? It's not nefarious. It's true delight, true happiness from healing and peace and wonder. Then there's something wrong with you. There's an issue within yourself if you have a problem with someone else walking in their highest light. Obviously. And people can see that there's something wrong with this person because now they're looking at this person like, what's wrong with you? What's your problem? What's going, like, right? So I feel like this person feels offended because you were, it's so stupid, because you didn't notify anybody of your healing, of when you were healing. I'm so itchy right now. Because to whoever this person is, I'm getting like a Queen of Swords reverse energy. Because you weren't notifying anybody that you were healing. That's never been a thing. That's not ever gonna be a thing. You don't go on social media. You don't go to your friends. I'm going to heal today, so please don't talk to me. That's not a thing. You don't do that, right? Unless you know that. I don't know. I do. It really depends. It's like a case-by-case situation, but this person, they're offended because they weren't notified or they weren't aware, or because you just was like, you just got up one day and went in hermit mode for years or days or months or whatever the case it is, and you healed, right? But the hermit is always on a journey, right? You'll never find the hermit, right? Unless they want you to find them, unless they want to be found. You won't find the hermit, right? So it's like this, you healed, or you went somewhere. You could have been in this person's face, and you could have been spiritually healing, right? And I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why this person is so offended, because they couldn't see it, they couldn't know, they weren't aware, and they feel like you should have told them that you were healing, and that's so weird to me, right? Why are they so offended by that? Why? Because they probably wanted to distract you, destroy that, right? Kill, steal, and destroy. This is a faithless, godless being. They don't believe in God. They don't have faith, right? They don't. No, they don't. And you want me to tell you when I'm healing, and you don't even believe in the process of the Most High God's healing? No. What? I gotta post that meme on my community board. It's actually, it's a haku, but he's making the face like, so I feel like it makes it like 10 times funnier, because he doesn't ever make that face in the movie, but he's just like, and it's just the funniest thing, because that's literally what I'm getting right now. Like, what? It doesn't make sense. Alright, whatever. Queen of Wands reversed. I am so itchy, my goodness. We have the Queen of Wands reversed. So you have whoever this person is, they're jealous of your ability to network and connect. They are jealous of your freedom. They are jealous of your independence. They are jealous because you are essentially full and whole on the inside, so you're not out here being reckless, seeking connections, listen, a Queen of Wands reverse is a hoe. Okay? She's a hating hoe. And if this is someone who wanted to be a hating hoe secretly, but they needed someone else to be a hating hoe in public, and you're not a hating hoe in public, a hating hoe at all, she's mad because it's like, you said the collective was a hating hoe. But now we're actually looking, the collective, it's you that you're just connecting with anybody and everybody. You're just making friends with anybody and everybody. You're just sleeping with anybody and everybody. Right? It's the Queen of Wands reverse. And I feel like that's why this person is feeling vulnerable, because who they really are, a Queen of Wands reverse, a hating hoe, is being seen. That's why people are like, where are your home training? Where's your home training? Where are your manners? Like, who raised you? You're a whole adult and you're acting like a reckless high school. Like, your partying days, like, don't you have responsibilities? Don't you have children? Don't you, like, at what age do you sit down and realize, this might be too much, I should stop, right? At what age do you realize this? But it seems as though they have not yet realized this, and that's not your problem. This person, they delight in being a hating hoe. They like being a Queen of Wands reverse. That's how they feel comfortable. That's probably all they know. Maybe not forever, right? Whoever this Queen of Wands in reverse is, she feels very vulnerable. She feels very vulnerable because she's being seen for who she is, right? And you are being seen for who you are. Queen of Pentacles upright. So you are the one with stability. You are the one with security. You're very secure within yourself, right? What is it that you have to be jealous about? The Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles upright, she's not jealous of anybody. She's good. She's stable. She's worried about, multiplying her resources, multiplying her income, multiplying her finances, working on her home, the Queen of Mothers, oh my God. The Queen of Pentacles is a mother who is like, you look at, this is like that single mom where you're like, oh, okay, she's got it. She's right. Now, if this Queen of Wands reverse is also a single mother, it's like, yeah, that girl is a mess. She's looking a hot mess. Out here in society, hooting and hollering. She's a mess, all right? Not saying you are a single mom, but if you are a married woman, right, then the Queen of Pentacles upright. Like, your household is good. Your finances is good. Your marriage is good, right? If this Queen of Wands reverse is married, it's like, I don't know. It's just, you're married, but you're jealous of other people, and you're just seeking attention, and you're doing the most, and I don't know. You have no faith in your marriage. You have no faith in... Anyways, but you're the Queen of Pentacles upright, and you have this Queen of Wands reverse who's jealous of you. One of the biggest things that she's jealous of is your stability, your security. This could be security within yourself. Like, you're very secure in who you are. You know who you are. And why is that? Because you went into that isolation process with the hermit mode. You took the time to figure out who you are, what you want, right? Your pains, your likes, your dislikes, your whatever. You took the time to figure out who you are, and now you're the Queen of Pentacles upright. You're very secure in who you are. You know who you are, right? The Queen of Wands reverse is the one who's vulnerable out here in society because she doesn't know who she is, right? And because she doesn't know who she is, she feels vulnerable because she doesn't have a cover to cover up who she really is, right? It's like, essentially, she wanted to use you as a blanket, but she can't use... The Queen of Wands reverse cannot use the Queen of Pentacles upright as a blanket, as a cover. It's impossible. You can't, right? You can't use someone who's very secure in themselves, who knows who they are, as a cover for your insecurities. Because the Queen of Pentacles will show you day in and day out why they are the Queen of Pentacles, right? Because this is a woman, or you could be a masculine, divine feminine, or divine masculine. This is a person who has worked from the ground up. They have worked on this. They worked on themselves, right? You could be a King of Pentacles too. This is someone who has worked on themselves. They went within to figure out, I'm getting so hot, and I'm getting itchy, and I'm feeling irritated all of a sudden. So this Queen of Wands reverse could be like hot, irritated, right? Always feeling like they have to look around. Just very vulnerable, very stressed out, very chaotic energy. Very aggressive, very hostile. Right? This is essentially someone who's like, they feel like they're cornered. Who they are, they feel like they're cornered because they're being seen and they don't know how to hide. This is someone who's essentially like naked in a corner and all the flashlights are being shown on them. And they're being judged. Like, why are you out here naked? And there's a big spotlight on them. And they're trying to cover. And they feel very... And this is someone who's about to lash out because of how vulnerable and naked they feel in society. They're about to lash out. Okay? And be cautious because this person might want to lash out on you. Because in their mind, you're the reason why. Because they can't use you as a cover. They can't hide their nakedness behind you. Behind your nakedness. Because one thing for sure, the Queen of Pentacles is not naked. She made her clothes. Alright? Resources. She made her clothes. The Queen of Pentacles can create something out of nothing, okay, from the ground up. So if you're wearing clothes, right? This Queen of Wands reverse can't hide behind you and say, she's naked, everybody. Look at her. Look at him. He's naked. Can you believe that? Oh my God, where's his home training, right? She can't do that anymore because you're fully clothed. So everyone's just like, who's that? Who's that? Yelling behind the Queen of Pentacles, who's fully clothed. Who's that yelling? Whose naked arm is that? Whose naked toe is that? Whose naked hands are that? So now they're looking and they're seeing this person. It's you, the Queen of Wands reverse. You're naked. You're yelling about the Queen of Pentacles, who's fully clothed, upright, stable, secure. That doesn't make sense. How are you yelling about the Queen of Pentacles upright when you're the one that's naked and shouting and messy and chaotic and you're standing in your own filth? So now this is making this person wanting to lash out on you because they can't hide behind you anymore because you're not naked anymore. You've healed. Congratulations. Yeah, this person was trying to use your nakedness to hide their nakedness, right? And that was very possible because you weren't healed. You were seeking and looking and finding and seeking and looking and finding without, externally, right? Outside of yourself, without yourself, okay? But you found whatever you needed to find within. You healed. And this person has a really big problem with that because, like I said, they cannot be a hate and hoe in secret. It's now, right? You can't. The Queen of Wands in reverse cannot sit there and say the Queen of Pentacles is this and that and this and that when she's sitting comfortably in her padded throne. She's got her snack, she's got her entertainment, right? She's working on a whole new outfit. She's got her plants growing. Like what are you saying? It's the Queen of Wands reverse. You're not even fit for your own throne because you're falling out of it. You're in the reverse. You can't stick to your throne. And you want to sit here and point fingers at the Queen of Pentacles upright who is sitting comfortably in her throne? That's not how that works. So yeah, and I told you there was a woman in here. In my mind, it was a Queen of Swords. So this could be someone who's been lying and trying to manipulate on you. But I told you there was a woman in this deck that felt some type of way. Okay? I'm going to get one more and then I'm going to switch the decks. Look, the Chariot upright. This woman is on her way to you right now. I've been getting this. I got this energy, I think it was like a week ago. Which is interesting too because as she's heading towards you, you're constantly moving. So it's like she could never catch up to you. That could also be how she feels. This could be someone who's always in competition with you, right? And maybe when you were in that very vulnerable place, very hurt, very neglected, very traumatic, very painful place, it was easy. Like she was right behind you. Like she could stick like you like glue. She was like a parasite. Whoa, stuck on you. You and me, baby, we're stuck like glue. This was like a parasite, all right? But I had a dream, I think it was like a couple years ago, right? I had a dream a couple years ago. And in the dream, there was like this parasitic worm on my heart. But then it just, my heart started like glowing. And it's like the worm had nothing to attach itself to. And it just fell off. It fell off. Because it couldn't attach, it couldn't feed anymore. All right? So whoever this chick is, right, she can't feed off of you. She can't be a parasite in your life anymore. Okay, so this could also have been someone who was the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, upright. They're really good with competition. They know how to handle that. But Queen of Wands, King of Wands reverse, their competition, it will get the best of them. Okay, you're competing over what? Over who? It's wrong. You're putting the energy in the wrong places, right? So essentially this Queen of Wands reverse was trying to compete with you, right? But it's interesting because if you're the Queen of Pentacles upright, you're a Queen of Wands reverse. You can't even compete with yourself. How can you compete with the Queen of Pentacles upright? When the main thing, the main goal that you're trying to achieve, you will never achieve it because what it is security. This Queen of Wands is very jealous. And she's jealous because she doesn't have the same sense of security as a Queen of Pentacles upright, right? So essentially she's on this journey where she will never reach her destination. So you're on this journey. You're the Queen of Pentacles upright. You're healing, hermit mode, healing. So as you progress further in your journey, this Queen of Wands reverse is essentially feeling like she can never catch up. She can never compete. Because again, you cannot compete where you do not compare. So she is always like trying to find you, trying to reach you, trying to catch up to you, and she feels like she can't. And she's right. You're not going to be able to. You're not. Okay? You cannot compete with the Queen of Pentacles upright if you are any sign in the reverse. Because essentially what you're competing for is that sense of security that you can only find when you build it from the ground up. Which is any King or Queen of Pentacles, that's what they do. They build their security from the ground up. Okay? This Queen of Wands reverse, she can't even sit at her own throne. And she's competing with someone who sits comfortably in their throne. So she's chasing after you, but it's like she can never catch you. And it's not because you're running. It's because you're too busy on this journey, right? You could hear someone, wait, collective, and you're like, I don't have time for that. I got things to do. Right? You're on this journey, and you're not focused on this Queen of Wands reverse. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles reverse. So this person could feel like it's just not fair. But favor isn't fair, my friend. What's not fair? The fact that the Queen of Pentacles upright worked on their security from the ground up. Not just their physical security, not just their financial security, but their emotional security, their mental security, their spiritual security. They've worked on those things. So who are you to be jealous about what someone has worked for themselves? That's what I'm saying. That you're competing over what? You're competing for something. You're on this journey and you'll never reach your destination. Right? It's like... Oof, I can't say that actually. How do I use that example without using that as an example? It's not even worth it right now. Spiritually fertile. You're the Queen of Pentacles, hello. And you have an abundance. I feel like the connections, you have a never-ending, I don't want to say supply, but you're always being guided to network and make these good, healthy connections, your soul tribe and this and that. You're always being guided to that. There's never anything that will ever run out for you, collective. Okay, you're in this spiritually fertile Queen of Pentacles upright energy. Right? Always making connections. Cultivate meaningful relationships and strategize your path to success. This is where you're going. This is what you're doing. Okay, and you have the freedom to do that. Free to move. Right? You're embracing that. If I can do this, I'm going to do it. That's your mindset. That's your energy, right? Meanwhile, this Queen of Wands in reverse is like, I want to do that. Why can't I do that? How can I do that? Right? But the thing is, what they're saying, how can I do what the collective is doing? And that's the problem right there. They're not saying, how can I do what I can do? Because they don't want to do that. That's not your problem. No one told you to go ahead and do what I'm doing. Go do what you can do. For what can you do? What's in your skill set? What are your qualifications? Focus on that. Don't focus on my skills. Don't focus on my qualifications. Don't focus on where I'm going. Focus on where you're going. Right? And they're not. So what are they? A hate and hoe that feels vulnerable. Right? Because society is seeing them as like, where's your home training? Why are you... People are looking at this person like they're a mess in society. They're a mess. They don't know what they're doing. They have no home training. They're just reckless. They're doing dumb shit, crazy shit. Like, you're a whole adult and you don't even... Do you even know that you're an adult? Has it clicked yet that you're an adult? The archangels have been summoned. They are here. You have a lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of protection. And it's interesting because every time this person gets close to you, something happens to them, right? And they're trying to get in the way. I'm telling you, this is the person that has a really big issue with your happiness. They don't like that. And that's not like, okay, so deal with it. Like, well, I don't like that they're happy. Okay, so nobody cares. I hate to say it, nobody cares. So, okay, you're unhappy that the collective is happy. So, what is there supposed to be done about that? Nothing's going to happen because of that. Because you feel some type of way. Okay, so, you can complain and cry and whine all you want. I mean, so, go be a crybaby elsewhere. Nobody cares. Right? And the fact that this person wants to lash out on you, that's why the archangels are here. Because You want to lash out at who? For what? Why? Because you feel some type of way? No, sir, no, ma'am. What is this? Keep going, you're almost there. Listen, you have no time for this. Whoever this person is, because they feel some type of way, that's not your problem. And you know that. That's why you're not even paying attention. You're not looking at them. You're not... Who cares about this person? I don't think you care, and that's not a problem. That's not a bad thing. It's not wrong to not care about a person who means you harm, who hates the fact that you're happy. It's not wrong to not care about that. It's not. You're not wrong for that, collective. Right? You're not hurting anybody. You're not doing anything illegal. You're being happy. Because you worked for this happiness. Right? You built this from the ground up. So it's not wrong of you to not care about this Queen of Wands in reverse. It's not wrong. Ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. So you could have an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband in your energy. They would try to come back. Don't be fooled. So, side note, you have an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. I thought I just saw a blackbird outside. I've been seeing a lot of blackbirds. So, side note, you could have an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband that's trying to come back to you. This could be an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband that left this Queen of Wands reverse. Alright? This could be one of the reasons why this Queen of Wands reverse wants to come towards you. So whoever this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband is that wants to come back towards you, right? I'm getting that feeling that they want to come towards you, right? But it's like, this Queen of Wands reverse wants to get to you before this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband gets to you. They want to get to you first. It's like they're both racing to get to you to see who can get to you first, right? Because it's something like whoever can get to you the first, in their mind, they feel like they have the power to plant some sort of narrative in your mind, the power to, well, what he said, what she said, did you know, it's something like that. I feel like you have these two people racing to you, whoever can get to you the first, right? If this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband gets to you first, he's going to tell you something about this Queen of Wands reverse, right? And in hopes that you will side with him on something. If this Queen of Wands reverse gets to you first, she's going to tell you something about this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband of yours in hopes that you will side with her on something when it comes to this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, whatever. First of all, neither of them are your friends. Neither of them are your allies. What they're really after is each other, right? But they want to get to you as the safe space, as like a safe haven. As you know how when you're playing tag, right? And you're like, okay, so this tree is safe spot, right? So when you running, and you're hitting the tree safe, so whoever's chasing you, they can't touch you anymore. They can't get to you because you just hit safe, right? So when you're not on that tree anymore, when you realize that your chaser, they're chasing other members, other players, whatever, that's when you can walk away, run away from the safe spot, and then you can start running again, right? Because they're now farther away. But you're like the safe spot. You're the safe zone, right? Whoever gets to you first will be safe. So that's essentially what's going on with that. All right. I used to love playing tag as a kid. I used to love that. On the bottom of the deck we have the Hermit reverse. Yeah, so I don't know. It could be both of them. They just don't. It's so weird because these people are chasing you, but they're chasing you, but they're trying to out-chase each other to get to you first. And these people, they're both like deaf, dumb, and blind. And what I mean by that is they're deaf. They're not listening to their intuition. They're dumb. They're not aware of the bigger picture. They're not aware of their own situation. They're not aware of who they are. And blind. They can't see where they're going. They can't see the path that they're going down, or the path that they have went down has led them down the wrong path. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Okay? Both of them. This is like the blind leading the blind. I feel like at one point this is exactly what this was. Right? This Queen of Wands who was blind was leading this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband of yours, or this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband of yours who was blind was leading this Queen of Wands reverse. You know what I'm getting to? This might not even be your ex-boyfriend or your ex-husband. This could be this Queen of Wands, this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, right? It's like these two were together. You may not have ever even been with this Queen of Wands reverse or this ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. I feel like this ex-boyfriend could be this Queen of Wands, this ex-boyfriend, or this could be her ex-husband. These are just two people that were in cahoots with something. They might need a, yeah, I'm getting the feeling here that it's not even, your ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. This Queen of Wands is ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. So essentially, like, let's say this Queen of Wands reverse told her boyfriend, right? She's blind already. She can't see what's going on. She's telling her, at the time it was her boyfriend, oh yeah, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. Let's do this. I got stuck on lockdown, blah, 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 blah. And it didn't work, right? So now they're trying to run after you, right? Trying to outchase each other to see who can sell each other out the fastest, all right? Or this could be her husband at one point and then they got divorced, right? And now the thing is too, there's a law when you're married, right? You do not have to testify against your spouse. That is a law. Now if these people are divorced, oh, they're about to testify. They're about to turn their finger on each other. They're about to throw each other under the bus. Okay, that's what they're doing. I think that's really what this is. They were in cahoots when they were married. But now that they're broken up or they're divorced, they're throwing each other under the bus, right? And one of them wants to get to you first. That's what this is. And you don't pay any attention to this, right? And I feel like that's another reason you're not paying a lot of it has to do with this Queen of Wands' reverse is jealousy towards you. Okay, keep that in mind. That's why all of this even started. That's why all of this even happened. Because this woman was jealous about you, right? Maybe she caught her husband or her boyfriend looking at you or having a wandering eye. Whatever the case it is, I don't know. But, yeah. This is not something that you need to be paying attention to. And to be honest with you, I don't think you are. I don't think you care. And that's good. And that's not wrong. Right? That's not wrong. I've been getting a lot of, imagery and energy and just of it's gonna sound so blasphemous, so please forgive me, Most High God, alright, because I know how this is gonna sound, but I've been getting a lot of energy of demons falling in love, and don't say demons are not emotional beings. They are. They're just more negatively, right? And that negative emotion, shame, guilt, depression, sadness, anger, greed, right? Grief, despair, right? Very emotional beings, but more negative. Very negative, toxic, dark, right? But they are emotional beings, okay? But I'm getting this thing a lot about demons falling in love with light beings, right? I've been getting that for the longest of time that I can remember. For as long as I can remember, I've been getting that. Demons falling in love with light beings. Right? So, anyways. So, this Queen of Wands, reverse, right? Maybe her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. Maybe at the time, it could have been her boyfriend and husband. Had a wandering eye, had an interest, had a like, had a curiosity. Maybe fell in love with you, whatever the case it is, but whatever happened, all right, it really sparked something in her, and this was created. This was whatever. All right, now she feels naked and vulnerable. And on top of that, if this is now her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, she's naked, vulnerable, and she feels single, alone. Okay, I'm getting the word destitute as well. Let me look something up. Destitute. No money, no finances, no security, no stability. Destitute. Destitute. Without the basic necessities of life. Yeah. Like this person just... And I was using the example naked without clothes. Like this woman doesn't even have clothes. And here you are, you're sewing. Okay, this outfit's done. Let me get this needle and thread and yarn going. Let me knit myself a sweater, some socks, a hat. You can make your own clothes. And this person doesn't even have the basic necessities of life. Clothes, right? Bread, water, awareness, sight, intuition, security, stability, whatever basic necessities, she doesn't have it. And she knows that because she feels vulnerable. Okay? Dang, this video is an hour long already. And this is the person that's trying to compete with you. You have this naked karmic woman trying to compete with you. And you just knit yourself a sweater, a hat. You're feeling pretty cozy. Right? And you got this naked woman shivering. It's you! You're the hate hoe. And people are just like, what? But you're mad dirty and you're naked and you're standing on your own filth. How are you pointing the finger at the Queen of Pentacles and she's looking crisp, clean, and composed? This is who this woman is, right? And she's lashing out. Ah! Goodness gracious, my nose. Hold on. Now I gotta fix my rings. Give me a second. Alright, I'm gonna get like 2 more and then I'm gonna close the reading. I think I'm going to play with the title on this reading. Alright, let me get 2 more and then I close the reading. I'm hearing por favor, which is please in Spanish. We have the Ace of Cups upright. I love that. You're experiencing a lot of new exciting things that really, really trigger your heart in a very happy, abundant, prosperous way. Okay. I like that. You could also be entering into a new love connection or new projects, new hobbies. You can have a newfound love for life, the Most High God, yourself, right? Because essentially in the beginning, the very, very beginning of the reading, I was talking about how if you were a child that had been neglected or unloved, or you had this, you had to fill those canisters up essentially, right? And it looks like you're full because now you're so full you're overflowing. Okay, I love that. The King of Wands reverse came out. This is the guy. I told you, this is the guy, right? Now, they're both karmics, right? Because they're both, it's like the blind leading the blind, like I said, right? The Queen of Wands reverse caught her husband or her boyfriend, the King of Wands reverse, looking at you, talking to you, communicating with you, or being curious about you, or watching you, or stalking you, whatever the case it is. And they just sparked a whole thing, right? It really like did something to her. Because she caught her guy, and she knows that this King of Wands reverse has feelings for you. And I just said, for as long as I can remember, I've been getting this thing. I'm talking about since I was young. I've been getting this thing about demons falling in love. I know that's blasphemous. Please forgive me, Most High God. I love you, okay? But I've been getting this thing about demons falling in love with light workers, right? Now imagine that, right? You find out you're both karmics. You both suck. You're both toxic and negative and blah, blah, blah. But you find out your man or your woman is in love with a love and light being. That'll do something to you. That'll do something to you, right? That's what this does. And she knows that this man still has these feelings for you, right? But it's like, this is a King of Wands reverse too, right? So it's like the farther you get, it's almost as if this King of Wands can never catch up. And it's like, I do think too, this Queen of Wands is trying to chase this King of Wands, who is trying to chase you. It's like she likes him and he likes her, and she doesn't even care. She's not paying attention, right? So On the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Pentacles, or the Ten of Cups reversed. Jesus Christ. The Ten of Cups reversed. So these two people could have been in an unhappy marriage or relationship, or whatever the case it is, unhappy family dynamic, whatever the case it is. But this was all sparked because you're doing your own thing. You've always been doing your own thing, and you were too busy healing, right? But this woman, I feel like this woman was attacking you because of a man, and the entire time you're like, what man? Who are you? I don't even know who you people are. What is going on? And God's like, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. And you're like, okay, you have no idea about this. I don't think you ever had any idea about this. This could have been happening the entire time you were healing. But yeah, essentially this demon is like in love with you. So do with that what you will. But this chick is about to lash out. Because she is being seen as standing in her own filth. That's it, and that's all. Alright? Bye!